Hello everyone and welcome to another Lost Caverns of Ixalan traditional draft with a pretty nice first pack. Well, the rare is gonna be just peaked down stable cliff bridges, a great rat effect because sometimes because you can choose some small creatures, you might get the better end result on the battlefield, but also this turns into a very significant creature by crafting with an artifact. So it's a great Wrath Effect, Upgrade, and Bitter Triumph are fine first picks. Malamet Battlecliff, not as good, but still an efficient little green card. But it's easy picking the white rare here. And let's see if I can, for once, draft something else than green. I mean, I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against white and green, but I think a lot of my previous drafts have featured green, so let's see if we can get something else. Well, this pack has a couple of white cards and they are playable. It's just that the Zoyova is a very, very good card. Yeah, these two other uncommons are like okay. The rest of the commons, I mean, there's an Oaken Siren. You could just kind of force blue-white and take the Oaken Siren, which I think is better than the white options. But I think here the choice is to just take the correct pick here, because none of these are extremely amazing. I can take the Zoyova here, and if black and red would be open, I have a very good two-drop for that archetype. But of course, I'm not going to ignore this Cliff Bridge easily. It's just that the previous pack, had not that interesting white options there. And the best non-white option was the Zoyova by far. Now, here I have basically two options. Of course, because I took one Zoyova, I could just take the other one. Now, what I also could do here is pick the Join the Dead, which would also work with the Zoyova, but also potentially be, in a white-black deck. The thing is that the Zoyova is just a better card than the Join the Dead. And I don't see any white here yet. It doesn't mean it's not gonna be open, but I think I'll just take the Zoyova. Yeah, I'll take it. And, well, I see some white here now. That's it. There's some red too. I don't see black in this pack, but, well, I see a phantom, which is bad. The best card in the pack is the Cudgel. Preventing the opponent playing spells during your turn is really nice, and of course, this can just gain you extra cards with the second ability. But what is the best option here now that I have two Zoyovas in here? I like the Favor, the Plundering Pirate, and the Sunset Militia, each of them. None of them is like super amazing in terms of getting this descent trigger happen. I think I'll just take the Pirate for now. I have no idea how the deck is gonna look like. This is always gonna be a fine 3-drop. Okay, there's something that will enable the Zoyova. They are white cards still. A lot of these Iron Paw as pirates also. But I mean, given how the draft has started, I'm actually more interested in doing the black-red deck in here. I mean, the only good white card I have seen is the Unstable Cliff Bridge, even though it is an incredibly strong card. I like actually the black-red deck I'm having here, building up. So I'm gonna keep picking those cards. And the Marionette, of course, is great with the Zoyova, actually helping with the triggers. There's an Ukbenbak. Yeah, let it be there. I'm not going to look for Splashing Blue, even though I have the Plundering Pirate. Out of these options, I think I'll just take the Soul Coil Viper. It is also something that will trigger the Zoyova, and maybe I get some, like a Seismic Monstrosaur later, or the black card, or the same black version of the card, and it's good with the Viper, so let's take this. It's fine. Fine 3-drop. And Yep, let's keep taking red and black, and I'm gonna not consider the cliff bridge at least until maybe I open something great from white in pack 2. Here, Altisor or the Knower. I do like the Altisor slightly more. Let's take it. Canonized in blood. Yeah, it's not a good card. That's just how it goes. It is not. But is there a good card in here? Acolyte of Aglazots. It's not so easy to guarantee descending. There are some self-mill effects, but they are not those in red. That many. I could just take the Cartographer's Companion here actually. Also the map token can help the triggering the descent there. This card is just very bad, so I'm not gonna take it. I'll take the Companion, it's fine. Mephitic Drought. Yeah, it's kinda like either that or the Daring Discovery or the Blowgun, or take the white card in case I end up playing the Cliff Bridge. Now the Drought isn't the greatest in red. It is. I really like this card in white-black, but that's because both white and black have cards that allow this sacrificing to happen. So far I have nothing that sacks this, but I think given that this pack is not very good, I can take it and I will put it in the deck if I find ways to sack it. Alright, Mycoid or the Strider. I don't necessarily want to have another 5-drop here already. I have a good 5-drop here, so I'm gonna just take the 4-drop. And I get a Skull Taker, which is a 3-drop I'm very happy to have. And here I have the white. Okay, I'll take the Glorified of Suffering because that is, good in white-black, and I already have the Mephitic Drought for it. And it's possible I still, convert to white-black. I do have the Cliff Bridge. So if I ignore all the red, and of course the double Zoyova would be the ones that hurt the most, but I could still be white-black, so let's keep that option. Runaway Boulder as a sideboard option, perhaps. Although it's also something that triggers the. Okay, here I got the Monster Sword. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, this also triggers the Zoyova. The cycling part. Defossilize. And now I got a Monster Sword, which is great because the mountain cycling does trigger it, all this descent stuff. Also with the so-called Viper, it's good. And now I'm given the option to pick a Defossilize. That's it. Well, no, that is actually maybe going to be the pick here. There's of course a great blue card in the Waterwind Scout, another one in the Tidebinder, but I'm not going to consider switching colors here. I'm actually thinking between the second Monster Sword, but let's take the Defossilize. I got this very late, so this can easily come to me late as well. So let's take the Defossilize. It is my second 5-mana card, but I think I can play 2. I have a Plundering Pirate helping me with the mana a little bit. But what I'm not doing is I'm not taking an Altisor here. I take the Vandercliff though. I can discard a permanent card, which is nice for the descent stuff. Even this, has descent stuff there. But yeah, Vandercliff, I need a 2-drop anyway, so it's a totally the kind of card I'm happy to have here because it not only is a 2-drop, it's a 2-drop that synergizes with some of the other cards in the deck. I have a lot of good options here. I do. I don't think the Spike Tail is my choice though, even though I know I have both the Defossilize and the Viper. And of course the land cycling triggering descent for the 4 cards that have that that care about it. But it's not. I think the question is between the Pirate and the Dreadmoss Ire. I like the Ire a lot. It's so good against some decks, not so good against something like a red-green. But how many creatures this is? Okay, 11 and 1 non-creature. I would really like to have the Pirate here, but I actually think the Ire is gonna be some. Because it's so good against basically blue, white, and blue, red, which are one of the. And also, I guess, white, red, which are the, the 3 very impactful archetypes in this format, they can be really explosive. They all utilize artifacts, and Dread Mosire can just be a 2 for 1 mana. When a block they are making makes the block bad, and I also get to blow up an artifact. That is such a nice one. Alright, here I think I have a playset of Caverns. Not taking 40 gems here. Another chance is nice. Milling helps with the Zoyova triggers. But there's also an Etalis favor. And that's what I'm considering here as well. I think I'm gonna take the favor now. Alright. Sahelis Lattice with how many dinos? Only 2. For now, I might still get a Monster Soar. It also can make me get some decent triggers. Now, I would maybe pick this easily, but there is also the Sunshot Militia, which is a defensive 2-drop I am, interested in. And it's just a, decent card in most decks. Oh, yeah, I think I'll take the 2-drop over the Lattice now. I mean, the 2-drop creature. Both are 2-mana cards, of course. And here I get a Fanatical Offering of Fungal Fortitude. I suppose I can play the Offering. Yeah, the Fortitude is not bad. It's always like a playable trick. But I think I like the Offering slightly more. And here we have a Burning Sun Cavalry, which is not the greatest in this deck. I think I'll just, I have a lot of playables. I'm gonna take the Hidden Necropolis. Also, these do trigger Descent. It's the same, this card is so bad. Maybe the activation should be only 6 mana to make the flyer. Well, too late to change that. Okay, is this a deck that would play the Phantom? Maybe it would, but I have enough 3 mana creatures. Well, at least, okay, that is only 4 actually. The favor isn't a creature. So I could see playing the Phantom, but maybe I could also play another Blood Rage Mycoid. The Inquisitor is a thing too, but I prefer the... Okay, I'm gonna take the Mycoid. There was a Tectonic Hazard as a sideboard card too. Alright, I got the Monster Zone now. It's not a surprise that it came back to me, given how late this was in the pack one. Yeah, easily picking that over the Child of the Volcano. I have 2 4-drops already. I don't necessarily need any more. And here we have an option to take a Panicked Altisor, and I could see in some matchups having 2 of them. But I also could see having the Fungal Fortitude in some matchups. Good against some removal spells. Nice with something like a Zoyova. Yeah, I think it's more likely that I'm gonna play this Fortitude than a second copy of the Altisor. And I got the Grasping Shadows, which I do like more than the options here. With 2 Monster Swords, I don't necessarily need a Spike Tail anymore. Yeah, this can be quite nice. Let's take the Nova, which I probably won't be playing. Let's take this as a sideboard option against some of the gods. Okay, Veto Fanatic of Aglazots. Wait a minute, isn't this the same? I mean, the pack one, pick one, which had the Cliff Bridge, didn't it also have a Bitter Triumph and an Upgrade? Maybe, but well, anyway, I'm not taking the Veto here. I'll take one of the removal spells, because as you can see, I can still take some non-creatures here. And the Bitter Triumph is better. Also, discarding a card also can make me, trigger some of the decent stuff. This is a very strong pack with the removal spells, the very nice Mythic Rare, and the Captain Storm. Tithing Blade is also a card I wouldn't mind having. Okay, someone's gonna get this Zoetic Cliff, it's not going to be me. That's a fairly weak pack for me. I guess I can take the Skull Taker number 2. That is now my 5th 3-drop creature. I'd much rather play this than the 2/2 flyer. Sure. And well, it's not a bad pack for me. I have okay choices here. basically 3 options. The Idol of the Deep King, the Ray of Ruin, and the Minecart are the things. Now I would rather not play instant sorceries. I have 4 of them, but maybe I should ignore the Ray of Ruin now because it's not gonna help with my descent. How about the Minecart? Idol of the Deep King. I don't have a lot of artifacts. Okay, I'm gonna take the Minecart. I'm not gonna necessarily play it, but I think it's the card I'm gonna pick out of those options. And I'm maybe taking another militia, mostly because I actually still want to have some 2-mana creatures. I'm a bit light on them, so let's take this. Well, there's a Waterwind Scout for someone, but it's a Scytheclaw Raptor for me, which I'm gonna play like over the Minecart easily. It's a very efficient 3-drop. Can't go much wrong with the 3-mana 4/3, that's not even a double caster. Echo of Dusk, Plundering Pirate, Rock Slide. All reasonable options. And even though I like the Pirate, I think I prefer the 2-drop still. I do prefer the 2-drop. I don't necessarily hit Descent for that easily, but I have means to do that. You know, of course you can naturally just hit it by trading your creatures. Alright, well, Zoyoa number 3. Yeah, it's legendary, but who cares? As long as this is on the battlefield, it's gonna be pretty nice, so I don't mind having 3 of these. Burning Sun Cavalry, not necessary here. Inquisitor, Mycoid, I'm not necessarily gonna be playing either of those anymore. So am I gonna play like a contested game ball? I have more than enough playables, I'm just taking the uncommon. I don't think I'm ever gonna sideboard this in, but it's the card I'm gonna choose here. Here though, Ancestors Aid. I have 1 Fungal Fortitude. Yeah, someone is getting a late Captain's Tomb, or maybe no one is blue-red, but anyway, I'll take this so that I have 1 of each of the trick, rather than 2 of the Fortitudes. Yeah, I know this is an instant that doesn't, does not actually contribute to my descent, but I think I'm still doing it. I'll take the Vault. This can kill a guard land, I kill a guard that turns into a land, and then I kill the land to not worry about the creature anymore. And here I don't care about any of these, so I'll take the Vandercliff, which is like a very unlikely but I guess possible sideboard card to hate some graveyards. Daring Discovery is not what this deck is interested in, so I'll take the uncommon. And this thing is not main deckable at least. And I can take the Blowgun. Sometimes I do play that card. Yeah, that is 29 non-lands. And Mephitic Drought isn't gonna be played here, and none of the other cards in the sideboard will be played either. The Nova will be cut from the main deck, and then let's check out the creature curve. I will cut the Careening Minecart. I will be cutting... Actually, the Etalis favor now. It's not really that beneficial to me. No. It's not. I will cut the favor. And then I think I will cut the Ancestors Aid from the main deck. I still have the Dreadmoss Ire and the Fungal Fortitude. Now I am a bit short on removal, but then again, I have ways to kinda not care about it. Because the point is that the less, the fewer removal spells you have, the more interested you generally are in pump spells, so that you can still, avoid stalemates. But I have all these Death Touch creatures. I have a couple of these militias that can help me push through. I have menace creatures which are harder to block. This is a way to deal damage regardless of attacking And then I have the monstrous sauce, which I can bring back with the defossilize or the viper for some nice big attackers. So I think I can cut the A8 from the main deck, and then if in some matchups I might, opponent might have like a 3/4 or high toughness creatures in general, and then you might want to have stuff like this with decks like this that don't have any particularly big creatures, just to be able to push through. But it's gonna be cut from the main deck, and there's one more cut. This is 8 2-drops. And there's also six 3-drops. So the companion is mostly here because it's not so bad with double militia, giving some tapping fodder, and also the map token can trigger the Mycoid, the Skull Taker, and the Tongue. So this is actually a deck with 7 cards that care about descending, which makes me want to play cards that allow that to happen. And there's also the Echo of Dusk that cares about having stuff in the graveyard. So the map token, if you reveal a non-land, you may mill the spell you reveal, and then that will cause descent triggers to happen. So that's why I'm thinking this, running this card. But I'm not cutting the Skull Takers, the Viper, the Pirate, or the Raptor either. I don't think I'm cutting any of this expensive stuff. And I think this will be 16 lands because, well, it's easily 16 lands because I have 2 Seismic Monster Saws which can be turned into lands. There's no reason to play more than 16 lands. But is there a reason to play 15? I don't think so. The mana won't be that good with, because color-wise it won't be that great. I want to be able to play my 2-drops from both colors on turn 2. So I could see cutting one of the militias. It's not what this deck is kind of doing that heavily. But if I cut one of the militias, that makes the companion slightly less interesting as well. This is 19 creatures, so I could see cutting one militia and one of the companions, because this is enough, 2-drops. This is still, 7 2-drops and 5 3-drops. That is like the, the normal amount you are happy to have to allow somewhat consistent curving out. And now I could play one more creature, creature or any spell. For example, the Ancestor's Aid or the Atalis Favor, or the Boulder even. I mean, I have not a lot of removal. I could play this because it has a good secondary mode with the cycling. It's not the worst idea. It is not the worst idea. I have 7 descent triggers. Maybe I do that in the main deck. It's really awkward against something like blue-white or blue-red, because you don't want to pay 6 mana to kill a creature, but because the cycling should be quite fine here, I might choose to do that. A safer choice would be just to play the Ancestor's Aid. That's gonna be good against most decks. Only against decks that have a lot of instant speed interaction, it's gonna be awkward. Just play the Favor. I think I'm happy to hit any of my 3 or 2 mana effects. Maybe the Dreadmore's Ire is a little bit awkward to hit because you won't be able to cast it, and you have to put it in your hand, and when the opponent knows about this being in your hand, it's not so great. But I could still play the Atalis Favor here. Yeah, I think all the hits are good here. Okay, let's play the Favor. 15, 12, no double casters other than the the land cyclers. But because I do have 2 mountain cyclers and no swamp cyclers, I should maybe consider to run only 7 mountains and 9, well, not 9 swamps because I have the Necropolis, but 9 ways to 9 lands that produce black, 7 lands that produce red. with the monster sauce. Should be fine. I'm not gonna main deck this. It only adds colorless. It's not so great. Well, with 7 red mana, I might not always get these 5 2-drops that require red mana, but you know, it's not impossible to have a starting hand with a mountain if I have 7 of them in my deck. Yeah, I think that's fine. I have more black cards anyway, so I'm still a little bit, you know, thinking about the Etalis favor. Should this be the 8? One of the reasons I want this to be a permanent is, you know, the descent stuff. Milling this, for instance, doesn't matter. Discarding these to Vandercliff doesn't matter for descent, so the reason is the descent synergy that I'm not going to put this 8. I'll have the favor. I don't know how relevant the +1/+1 and trample is going to be. They just pay 3 mana to get a random, you know, 2 or 3 mana spell from my deck. It's a little awkward. Maybe I just play the Primal Nover here. Or the Hunter's Blowgun. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Let's just play the favor. It's fine. Okay, and at the lands, like I said. So got a mountain here, because I have 2 ways to get a mountain anyway. Not for turn 2 plays, but I'll live with that. That's the main deck. Okay, great hand. If I had 2 Zoyovas, I would play this on turn 2, but I think it's much better now to play the Vandercliff on... Although... Okay, well, that solves the dilemma. I want to play this on turn 3 anyway, just to, you know, start getting the triggers for this thing. But I also want this to be around when I use the Vandercliff, so... But now that I have a replacement for the Zoyova, which is legendary, so this is the correct choice. And yep, just attack here. Play the Skull Taker. And this is a very good start. I have a Death Toucher and a Menace Creature. This is going to be quite nice. Yep. And okay, are they going to block the Zoyova? They could easily do that, and then the Mycoid would produce me a thing. I think I still play the Mycoid though. Yep. Gives me more flexibility on the next turn. I do understand this can trigger my descent, but I don't even have any cards I want to be discarding right now. They are missing the second color unless they are actually mono blue. They played a land before even cracking this map token, which usually is not what you want to do if you are planning to crack the map token. It's possible they just have a 4 mana blue or colorless play, or worth of plays. 4 mana total. Could be multiple spells. Okay, that's now understandable. The pirates are gonna tap and lock down the Mycoid, I guess, and then... Okay, they are gonna raise. This is not great for them. Imagine if they block the Zoyova here. Now this is great. I can't double spell my red things, but it's fine. I can still do this and play the Echo of Dusk, and I won't be playing the Swamp. So now 3 triggers from descending. You don't see that often. So they have to choose now to take 3, which is horrible in their situation, or discard a card and sack a permanent, and they chose to take the 3. This land looks different than this. Okay. Cave Diver becomes a 3/4 if they explore, sure. Yeah, now they got their second, but yeah, you know, they again played an island before exploring. The point is that if they did the exploring first, then I could play the forest. They might not have anything for 1 green, but still, Okay. Is this a trivial attack with everything? Because, I mean, assuming they don't have the 1 mana. Okay, they could have the 1 mana. -2, -0. Well, let's see. Let's go to combat and see if I can immediately. No, they have a spell there. Okay. Well, I mean, they could of course play with full control, but that also explains why they weren't even interested in playing the forest. So the worst case scenario for me, they have a -2, -0, and a 1/2 blocker. Because if they didn't, I think attack all would be the answer. But now... I'm thinking about just attacking with the Blood Rage Mycoid. Because this becomes still a 2/3, and if they can basically double block with the Cave Diver and the 1/2. At least I can kill the 1/2 and have these other triggers happen. I'm going to do that. If I attack with this, they can still double block the Skull Taker. I prefer this getting some counter, so I'm gonna do this. It's not like they can just take, 4 here and be happy about it. I would be happy dealing 4 here. Okay, so they just... I mean, this is even better. I don't even lose a creature here. Don't even lose a creature here, so that was a good way to get rid of the wrestler here. I can draw a 6. Well, my 6 drops are actually double red. Yeah, the land cyclers. I don't think I put the boulder in the deck. I have the Etalis Favor, don't I? So there's no reason to play the land now. I might even get a Bitter Triumph, discarding a swamp. Can be, just to trigger Descent, not that I can't pay 3 life. But I don't think I can get punished. I suppose if I get the Fanatical Offering, which allows me to draw 2 cards, then I might be short on mana to get some place, but it's still better to keep the swamps in hand because I don't really need them on the battlefield right now. Okay, they double explore on the Cave Diver. Yeah, so it's a 5/5 unblockable right now, but if they attack with their good blocker, I'm very happy. It's not like they can attack. They have this Merfolk. Wait a minute. 47 cards still left in their deck. Okay. Alright, they are playing a lot of cards, which happens in these best of 3 drafts. Alright. So now I'm gonna... Of course, I don't want to die to these explore effects. He's going to attack on the next turn too. So now it's just an attack with everything, and whatever they do, it's fine for me. They have mana up for this activation at least, but at this point I'm not in a position to... Because I will take about 6 damage on the next turn. They might have a 2-turn clock in here. So now every Descent trigger will happen, but of course I might lose the Mycoid or the Zava here. Zoyova. Jump there. That's a menace creature, you can't block it with just the Nautilus. They're facing a bunch of damage too. Okay, so... am I gonna lose here if I... Did I need a blocker here? Okay, well they trade here, but I mean... Did they have a lethal attack on the next turn? This is gonna be 4, 6... No, 10. I think it's only... Yeah, this is getting 4, 6... Yeah, I think I was 1 mana. Well, they might still have a win here somehow, but if they don't, they must lose. I mean, this board versus theirs. They have to discard a card or sack a permanent now. Don't think that's a big thing. They can just discard the island from their hand. So this can make this deal, but this is a total of 6. Can they find 5 additional damage now? It's not easy. With these colors, blue doesn't really enhance that easily, but they could have the 1 mana spell that turns a creature into a 4-3. There's already a cliff there. Okay. Well, the game is gonna be over now. But yeah, I guess the cave diver becoming an unblockable creature with the scout gave them a clock here. But they quite couldn't get there. The one turn when I played safely because they had the -2, -0 creature gave them the time to actually threaten to win the race. Yeah, the Relic's Roar is actually one way to work as a pump spell for blue here. So if they had like that on the scout and the +3/+3 for the diver, I think that would have been enough in that case, but they did not. Okay. Well, they play so many cards that it's not really a nice bug. Not really worth doing much sideboarding. They had more than 50 cards in the deck, so is something gonna be particularly useful, like the blowgun or the boulder? I mean, I guess the Etalis Favor is the kind of card I can always sideboard away if I had no something else will be better. Like if I cut the favor, I can consider that. The Ancestors 8 could be good. They have this 2/4. They have the 1/4. Here. They have the 3/3, but the 1/4 is somewhere too. Where is it? The Nautilus. Here. Okay. So I'm gonna actually now play the Ancestors 8. And I saw artifacts from them, so I'm gonna still be playing the Dreadmaw's Ire. I don't think anything else needs to be changed here. This is fine. Okay, well, there's a combination. I get my mountain with this and I will defossilize this thing. Maybe on turn 4 because of the Plundering Pirate. Okay, I keep 7 and they have, in fact, 62 cards. More than in standard decks. So they're playing pretty much everything. They have drafted almost. Or actually, well, not everything, but a lot of the cards. I mean, 62 cards has like 24 lands, 25 lands. Alright. Now I have the mountain, but I do have the defossilize. I think I'm interested in just because of the defossilize, just mountain cycling this thing anyway. Then on turn 3 I can play the pirate. Turn 4 it's a decision between the Grasping Shadows and the defossilize. Or maybe they play something I need to beat a Triumph now. Then I don't have mana to mountain cycle, but we'll see. Well, that is actually annoying. I can't block it with the Plundering Pirate, whether they explore or not, so I'm actually going to kill it paying 3 life here. Okay, well that's second mountain. Alright, well that's pretty... I mean, that's gonna mean that I'm not gonna use the defossilize on this so that I mountain cycle it first. Because I can just now let this die by some other means and then I can defossilize it. Or some other creature. Because of course the game plan is quite easy now. I can play the Grasping Shadows on the next turn and the monsters are on turn 5. Thanks to the treasure token here. And I have defossilize ready when I need to bring something back. Okay, they main phase that thing. They can get the Nautilus and an island. So they can play the land and either have a 1-drop or not. Okay, they seem to have the one mana thing there. Okay, Deep Goblin Skull Taker. Well, actually I'm gonna save the Grasping Shadows for now. I know it's nice to flip early so you can actually draw the cards from it. But I also like to just add to the board now. because the Nautilus itself cannot block the Skull Taker. But if they have the -2, -0. Well, I could just defossilize this thing back. It will get to explore twice. And then actually get the descent counter to, I mean, assuming this gets double blocked and it dies. Okay, they have a pirate hat. Sure, they can still have the thing. Yeah, okay, that's my game plan now. Well, more options. Anyway, I'm going to attack with both, and I'm going to assume that... Well, they might kill the pirate too, but I don't care about the pirate. I don't even need to bring it back with the defossilize. This trading with the trick they have is fine. This will pick up a counter and... Oh, they actually didn't even play it, so... I mean, they could have something else for 1 blue, but... But I still suspect they have the -2, -0, which is why I'm not going to use the Fortitude. It wouldn't be wasted though, because it's not an instant, it will be a permanent +2, +0. But I'd just much rather play the Monstrous O here. Oops, almost mountain cycled. That would be a mistake. Well, it would give this thing a counter, but no, I don't want a mountain cycle. So they must have the flash creature, but they just chose not to use it. Oh, they could have the thing that turn. I mean, I saw in the previous game the thing that turns, you know, an artifact or creature into a 4/3 until end of turn. That is another possibility they could be holding. Yeah. And using it wouldn't have been the greatest thing. Okay, now they're gonna go for that, but I have a blocker on it. But because I do have the Fungal Fortitude, probably I wouldn't block now. Okay, I can't block now. It seems like it's gonna be time for the Grasping Shadows, just to get it going. Although with the Skull Taker now I actually have a good double spell with the Fortitude and the Skull Taker, because I'm assuming they are going to make a block here. If they take 5, then I just play this post combat. It's fine. I'm assuming they are gonna make a block here, and that makes my... I will have 2 3/3 menace guys, and all my creatures still on the... that has menace, can't block like that. One of them they have to take through anyway. Alright, so now I can only kill the pirates, which is fine. And also a good way to trigger descent is just to sacrifice lands with this thing. Once you have, you know, the extra lands to do that. But yeah, now I will have these menace creatures and the 6/5. Now this won't trigger if I mean if you attack with more than 1 creature, but I don't even need this right now. Maybe I do. Also, Trample and Death Touch, really good combination. Well, they do have an attack with the Nautilus, and I will block with the Skull Taker. I don't mind if they pump it. It has Vigilance, so if they want to loot, they could have just done it. Anyway. Well, this is a turn where I'm gonna do the Grasping Shadows. I still have my defossilize, no targets yet. I will be trampling a bunch of damage now. Okay, blocking with just that thing won't do much unless they have a... Well, I mean, that's still a 2-for-1 for me, and they get the trample damage still to them. Yep. And I get the Skull Takers, and now I can use Defossilize on the monster, so not that I actually need it. But I mean, I'm playing against a 62 card deck. It's very hard to make a very good 62 card deck in Limited. They're kind of doing, you know, if I didn't have the Grasping Shadows, this would be a little annoying for me. So if I attack with everything, they are not dead. Because they will take 7 damage. They will take 7, or I guess 8 if they block the pirate, but yeah. But you know what's also good with Death Touch? Menace. Menace is really good with Death Touch. Yep, that's gonna kill both of the guys. Now, do I want to defossilize that Skull Taker or the Seismic Monstrosaur? Because the Menace is very valuable, but I'm gonna want to do the Monstrosaur because that's what I, you know, have the combination for. But it might even be better to get the Skull Taker back. It's also gonna pick up a counter, but didn't really matter. The opponent considered it understandably. It is a 5-lander, but I have a good 2 and 3 drop plan here. I'm on the draw, so I will have an extra card here. Always a little bit awkward with 5-landers because you can have like 3 lands in your next 4 draw steps, and then it's going to be very difficult. But if I have like, you know, 3 spells in my next 4 draw steps, that's gonna be great because I have a good curve out. So I'm gonna keep this because of the quality of the start I can have here. Okay, that's even better. 2, 3, 4. Blue green. This time I'm playing against the not 70 but 40 card deck. Also the Monstrosaur. Okay, so 2 draw steps, both spells. This is great. Okay, there was nothing with 2 mana. And they have a scout at 3. And I don't mind them blocking at all, because I get a 3/3 menace guy that way. But they're gonna go for the race. Okay. I drew 1 land now, but that, you know, it's fine after drawing 2 very decent spells here. So are they gonna use the map token? At least they played a land first, so probably not. Okay, so they do have options. Not easy ones. They're gonna go with the race here. Of course, the Death Toucher can, you know, attack into anything, and the Skull Taker is hard to block when they have no untapped creatures now. But it seems like they might have a Huatli's Final Strike, like staggering size. Now this is either scary or the opposite of that, because, you know, either they are an inexperienced player that kind of wasted their pump spell, or they actually have a game plan involving, you know, my death in a couple of turns. I got now 2 lands in 4 draws, so 50%. But I still have a relevant play for this turn. And you know, if I really need to, I have now 3 descent triggers here. I can still cycle this on the next turn to trigger each of these. I don't think it's gonna be the thing that I'm gonna end up doing, but it's possible if they like now somehow play another staggering size on the scout. And that would mean that playing this on turn 6 might be too late to do anything relevant. I might lose before this gets to attack. So there's a chance I'm gonna cycle this on the next turn. But let's see what happens first. I do hope they don't have an actual way to... Okay, it doesn't seem like they are now gonna... Okay, wow. So now they are in fact choosing to not attack with the scout at all, and now the staggering size should just be in their hand. I guess they wanted to use their mana optimally, but I'm not sure it's what they wanted to do. Anyway, this is an easy attack with all, because no matter how they block, they're gonna kill exactly... Well, they can kill 1 or 2 of my creatures. Yeah, I guess they can just trade with the Mukoid, with the Veteran, with the Zoyova, with the Scout. I think I'm still fine with that. You know, I could just attack with the Mukoid, but I don't mind the Veteran going away here. They might have tricks that allows it to survive some combat, so I'm gonna force the trades now. At least the Skulltaker will survive here and be a 3-3, and they will be at 12 life. If they don't block at all, in that case I'm going to cycle this and play the Vandercliff, because then I want to actually trigger my descent triggers. But I think they are gonna block the Mukoid with the Veteran and Zoyova with the Scout, which leaves them an empty board. Okay, they're gonna double block the Skulltaker, which is fine. I mean, that would be the greatest. I can trade with the Flyer and both these trigger. No, now they are gonna find the play that no, it has menace. They can't block the Goblin like that. Alright, now they found it. Nothing much I can do, but I have a 6-5 on the next turn. 6-5 on the next turn, and I can, you know, discard one of the swamps. And I have a 3-3 menace guy with them having no board. So if they play 2 creatures, they are probably not gonna be big enough to not trade. Then again, are they gonna block the Vandercliff? Anyway, I kept the 5-lander and I have drawn 2 more lands in 5 draw steps. It's fine. Okay, that has only at most 2 toughness. So I might have an attack with both. Okay, 1 toughness. So, unless they have like a 3-3 now, the Vandercliff can attack. And I wanted to attack. Just to get rid of the swamp and draw something potentially better, and also to guarantee the descent. But they are gonna have a trick of some kind. Not that I'm gonna play around anything by not attacking. I will just attack. Is it that a lodestone needle? Nope. So I mean, this is all worth it, because I can effectively draw a card, because this swamp is just totally useless now. Well, that's now more swamps here. Is it gonna be our friend the -2/-0 cogwork, what it even is? Okay, they went to blocks, so they can only block the Vandercliff now. Maybe they have a trick to save the guide, but I don't care. I'm gonna play a 6-5 now that has trample and also an ability to, you know, turn all these lands into fresh draws, which will cost some mana, but it's okay. Scythe. Alright. No, it's not Scythe, it's Scythe, but forgive me, please. That's okay. I will have a 4-4 menace guy and a 6-5 trampler, which will, you know, they can trade with the Monstrosaur, but this thing even has vigilance, so this attack is actually, they can just get me to 10. Because I'm not sure I want to be... I'm not blocking because this has trample. It will be 3 extra when they blocked my monsters. Or yes, I'm going to 10 now. It's kind of funny that they wasted this staggering size. If this was still in their hand, I think I might be in trouble here. Okay, that's their best play now. They get another scythe here. It's so hard to pronounce it correctly, but it's fine. It's only 5 toughness. So now I think I still take the 7 because I might imagine I draw just a land. Well, imagine I do that. Okay, because you know the point is that I wanted to at least draw something better. Now this should be a win for me no matter what, but I should still do this. Actually, I mean this is all fool because I'm foolish because I'm winning here, but this is the correct way to do it. Leave it to... I guess I have a swamp in my hand, so this didn't matter in the end. But yeah, so I can now put a triumph. Paying 3 life, kill this, and it's game over. So a couple of Malamet scythes. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Staggering size. They have combat tricks. And I have my own when I sideboard in the Ancestor's Aid. And it's gonna be replacing the Etalis Favor. Anything else? Hunter's Blogan allows me to attack. Red Moss Ire. How many are... Oh, the sides in here. Yep, that's... I wanna keep it. To kill them. Equipment. Oh, anything else I wanna change here? I don't think that I want to have like the boulder or something. It can kill the veteran. But it is 6 mana. It still might be worth it. Am I gonna play the Grasping Shadows? I am. I think I'm going to have this deck for now. At least I have the opportunity to still make changes for potential game 3. Well, this is not a hand I'm gonna keep. If I had a swamp, I could do the Viper into monsters or thing, but this is gonna be a mulligan. I'd rather have the swamp here because, yeah, this doesn't help getting the swamp. They kept 7, and this is fine, and I think the Fanatical Offering is the least important one. I'd rather just have the creature curve, which sadly starts on turn 3, so if they have a fast start, I will be in a bit of a trouble, and I don't want to more than cycle this thing on when these are on the... Okay, maybe I don't have to do it at all, but you know, the point is that this mountain cycling is more useful when you have these, you know, descent triggers on the battlefield. But they had no 2-drop, so I'm not immediately gonna die. Well, they don't have a 3 mana board impacting play either, but they do have a Nikanzil, which can be annoying if they have a lot of explore effects. But that was divination on turn 3. I get to actually play the first board impacting play here. And they have the scythe goes to graveyard. Yes. My turn. Well, I'm not going to mountain cycle anything. I have all the lands I need. Well, I suppose I will need one more for this monster sword, but if I never draw a land in this game anymore, I'm also happy with that outcome. So they can play Nikanzil and hopefully not a ton of explore effects. This can get kind of out of hand. Later in the game, the mana ramp isn't gonna matter, but every +1/+1 counter does. Okay, so why would they play? Okay, am I gonna raise? Well, not now. I know about the staggering size, but why would they play the Explorer card before the Nikansil? I guess for mana efficiency's sake. But anyway, I'm not gonna leave this as a blocker because obviously they can just get rid of it for value. I mean, prevent their guy from dying. So I will take 4 now because I can't block with the Mycoid either. This will have 5 toughness with the pump spell. So can I beat them in the race? At least the Altisor can block this despite the staggering size being around. They would need another trick to make it a good attack. But at least I'm happy they played these guys in this order so that they don't get the extra counter on the Nikansil. Okay, they just are not interested at all in playing the Nikansil. Understandably, they want to play the veteran right now. Is there any reason for me to... Yeah, there is a reason for me to not block. The reason being that I will get the counter on this thing. But gaining 4 life is relevant as well. I guess I can draw something that impacts my play on the next turn. Because they are gonna block the Mycoid on the next turn, that's for sure. With their guide. So do I value 4 life more than the extra counter on this guy? Well, I can still draw something good like the Ancestral Guide or what is it? I'm not gonna block here, hoping to you know, have this work. It's possible they don't block at all, which I think is acceptable outcome. But this is what I... Okay, that has managed. The Skull Taker would be quite bad with as a vanilla. Oh, I would love this block. They're playing it safe, but I get to actually trade with the relevant thing. This is so good. Oh man, I'm so happy now that I did not block on their turn. This is amazing. Bye-bye, veteran. Alright. So I will now block the guide. If they want to use this staggering size, then they will still lose the guide unless they have something else. If I can use 2 tricks from them, it's a fine trade. I have the 6/5 coming up. But they do have 3 cards I don't know about. It's not over. Yeah, so if they did block with the guide, they would have the veteran now on the battlefield. They would attack with the veteran if they... Yeah, I would go to 11. Okay, now do they have an explore trigger for the Nikansil? And I will snap block here. I won't take 4 damage for fun. I will make them use the tricks if they attack. Because I have more of these big guys remaining here, so it's better to stay at a healthy life life total here and make them use their stuff. Or they even actually... Yeah. I don't know how to do the math. I somehow thought that this is gonna deal 5 damage, but it's a 5 toughness creature. You were probably wondering what on earth was going on. Alright, it doesn't matter. That was a mistake. I would not have blocked if I did the math correctly, but I don't think it's still bad. It was 1 for 1, and I'm still at a healthy life total, and I drew a very good card, so it's still okay. I'm just a bit dumbfounded that I made this mistake. They're gonna go for the double block, which is gonna be a blowout. I didn't want to play the Raptor pre-combat because I do intend to play the Monstrosaur instead, but now they're actually making me use the Bitter Triumph. And if in this case, of course, I would prefer them to, you know, have this on the battlefield, because if they have a response, they would at least lose 4 life. But oh well. I will take 3 life loss. If this is gonna work, it's gonna be great. Okay, well now I'm super happy that they used the staggering size. That I made the stupid block. I mean, that's actually amazing. Because I got the 2 for 1. I mean, did I actually have a good outcome of this because I made a mistake of calculating? And now I have this undeserved board state here. Because I'm pretty sure I would not have blocked if I would have realized that the staggering size is enough to deal with the Altisaur. Well, this is not over yet, of course. They have 3 cards I don't know about, but I have the 6/5 Trampler here, and I'm still pressuring them quite a bit. So if they have like the 7/7, that would be annoying. I can still attack with the Skull Taker, but then it would be, you know, I would be playing this. Well, they have this Echo thing which is gonna fly and draw them a card. It's okay. I will offer it a trade here, of course, because this will at least pick a counter. And I will be playing the Swamp, of course, because I'm gonna start cracking my lands for cards if I can untap with the Monstrosaur. If they're not gonna block here, that means they have like ways to enhance this guy's power. Because of course the 3 power in the air isn't gonna be fast enough for a clock, but they might have the Malamet Scythe or something like that. If they go into 9 here and I play a 6 power Trampler here in addition to what I have here, that would not be great for them. Of course they don't know about the Monstrosaur. But yeah, this trade seems to be the safe thing for them to do. But now I have a 4 for Menace guy and still this big thing which is gonna be drawing me some cards, triggering this descent even more. But they have 3 cards. Hopefully not a Bum Rare of some kind. That is a Bum Rare, but maybe... Okay, that's annoying, but I don't think they necessarily have time to fool around with this 2/2. And I can still attack into the Deep Fathom Echo. Yeah, they milled it. They might have, of course, a trick. Okay, well, I have a trick of my own. That's really good. I'm still going to do this now. Just to see some other options I might have. And I'm gonna crack, you know, I'm gonna get 1 land anyway. Sacrificed to draw an extra card. Alright, so now I can just attack and see what they have. The Fungal Fortitude can be really good here now. And I don't think I'm going to use the Fortitude, you know, it seems like they have something. So I'm gonna use it only if they do something. I'm gonna let this trade happen otherwise. I'm not gonna use it now. They might have a bounce spell or something. They have a Scythe. And now I can use the Fortitude. That was to be expected, but yeah, this makes the Fortitude really good. Because not only does this thing die, also this 6/5 comes back. And because I have this available, I'm gonna play the Death Toucher too. There's no need to mill, I don't need a descent count here. I'm at descent 4 anyway for the one thing that cares about it. Let's not mill, because this trigger happened already. Because now that they're at 8 life, this 1 point will matter. They have drawn a bunch of lands here. They have explored also though, so that can explain it. They might have to crack the hidden cataract. They have 3 mana left over and they get a Thrashing Brontodon, which doesn't kill anything here. And it's not... And this equip is 4 mana. And they played a land already. This entered the battlefield. No, this entered the battlefield this turn. So they can't make this into a 5-6. But they might have something else. I mean, they have this activation up, killing their own. Okay, waterlogged Hulk. Craft with an island to make it into a vehicle. That is 4/4, but it costs 4 mana to craft. So I think this is just game over. Because they have to take the 5, and this is gonna trample over 2, that's 7, and then this, you know, deals the 1. This is exactly lethal now. I don't have to do anything else. They can't turn this into a vehicle, not that it would even matter, because they would still have to tap a creature to crew it. This will be exacties now. They can block the monster sword, but it will be 2 plus 1 plus 5 equals 8. Okay, opponent, you can't do anything. The only reason they have a priority is because they have this mill ability up and this, you know, blowing their own artifact. Yeah, just let it go. Okay then. Yes, they can block the Monstrosor, and no, it won't be enough. Alright. Great hand. Keep it. I'm on the draw. So it would be slightly better if I was on the play, but I'm happy with how this goes, especially because I didn't see a 1-drop from them. Alright, so I don't think I'm gonna start the race. I'll just block with the Echo of Dusk. I don't wanna give them a lot of freeze cries, so and the Zoyova can trade with anything, so I'm not going to play that and block. Well, that's a shame. But I still have, you know, plays for turn 3 and turn 4 left. And I can still draw one of my 2 other Zoyovas. I don't like the fact that I'm getting all these you know, swamps here. They are not going to... Well, they know my hand, so they have a plan. They didn't want to attack into my Echo of Dusk because of reasons. And because they didn't attack or block, they want to save this for something. But in the meanwhile, they're taking some damage here. Okay, I'm not gonna block with the Goblin. Yep, that's... I didn't even see how they scried with this, but it's kind of funny. They scry 2 and then scry 1. Okay, there's a defossilize. That's a good one. I can even get just a Zoyova back. Kill spell, untap. Cosmic Blast. Alright, well... The other Goblin will now be bigger. This crafts with 2 creatures at 6 mana. That's not happening yet. The landmark can craft with an artifact, but that's not happening yet either. Okay, they do that. That's a smart one. Now they can make this into a 1/4. It will cost 3 mana though. But they got the refill there. Maybe they will use the map token on the Sunscribe or just kill that guy with the Bitter Triumph. Well, I'm very close to having a lifelinker here. But of course the defossilize, well, depending on the explorers. I might explore spells to the graveyard, but... yeah, I play the Mycoid first. And next turn I can even use the Hidden Necropolis to make the Echo of Dusk actually be a lifelinker. Cloud Guard in there. Not a bad one, but... okay, they get a... yeah, that's a slightly annoying thing, because now they can double block the Echo of Dusk. Well, I don't have to attack with the Echo of Dusk, and I can attack with the Mycoid. I don't care if they block with the Flyer or they double block with the other guys. And of course I'm gonna get a spell here. Let's see what that is gonna be. That's going to be a... fine enough. Attack here. I don't feel like attacking with the Echo of Dusk. Because... yeah, I think they're gonna block with the Cloud Guard. That seems like the reasonable choice for them. And then I can defossilize the Mycoid. I think it might be... oh... this is the... this is such a disgusting card. Because there's just no chance to beat this. This has lifelink. And when this attacks I discard a card. If I can't, they draw a card. So even having an empty hand doesn't prevent them from getting value. But yeah, did I say it has lifelink? If I kill it, it turns into a land. I liked my chances. It turns into a land that they can easily... I mean, it's just so demoralizing to see that thing. I'm gonna explore... I'm gonna get back the Mycoid here. See what the exploring does. That's not gonna do anything. So... there's no attack here, of course. I'm gonna just discard the swamp. But they're gonna go to 15 life. Yeah, I think this is like a... this and the Dracosaur... no, even the Dracosaur is something you can just kill and it keeps... it's gonna stay dead. But this... I mean, this is such a... kind of impossible. Oh, and yeah, when I discard a land card, they create a bat token with flying. Okay. Well, they're gonna get the bat token. I'm not gonna discard the Viper, I don't think. I need to find a removal spell for this. Don't even know if I have one. I mean, they have even the one for the block. I don't... it's game over. There's no winning. Well, how do I deal with that? That's what the Zoyova's Justice is for. That's what the Volatile Vault is for. So I suppose I'm gonna put those things in. Because this can kill the land it turns into, if I get to kill it. And this makes them shuffle, which is horrible because they get to discover back a card. But at least it's gonna be... I guess they first shuffle it, and then they discover. They might even discover into the same thing. But yeah, I'm gonna play that because it is at least an answer to that thing. And Ethal's favor goes away. I think the Dreadmoss Ire. Yeah, it has plenty of targets. Ancestors 8. I need to win quickly to, you know, not let them have time to draw this thing. I'll take the Ancestor's Aid. It helps a little bit here. And the least useful card. I don't think I'm gonna play the Boulder though, or am I? That also kills the thing cleanly. It's just that I would need to have the Volatile Vault to really have it work. Yeah, I think the Boulder is not that great. So, what is the cut? I want to play the Fanatical Offering that digs me into the, helps me dig into the answers. Maybe the Sunshot Militia is the least important one here. Alright, that is the deck. Let's see if I'm gonna be able to win the next 2 games without, facing that mythic rare, or just win despite facing it. Ooh, 1 lander. Well, that is awkward. Let's mulligan. And keep this, and swamp goes away. I can discard. Well, let's see. I don't have to discard anything with the Vandercliff. But yeah, that's a textbook example of an actual 5 out of 5. A bum rare. Okay, the monster sword with the defossil is good because the game was, totally, I think I was in a good shape, at least not totally dead. And then they played the 1 card, and immediately I was like, I'm dead. The Viper brings the creature back with a finality counter. Defossilize doesn't, but if I just cycle this, I can't defossilize it on the next turn. I could play the Mycoid though. But what I can also do is I can play the Viper and then on the next turn, cycle this and bring it immediately back. Which is tempting. Then I will find some other target for the defossilize. I'll do that. Hopefully they can't transfer the early 6-5. It will be a turn 4 or 6-5 Trampler. They have a swamp which gives them more ways to deal with the big creature. Tithing play. Well, the cliff doesn't do anything now that they have the aspirant there. Yeah, I can't get this trigger, sadly. I mean, I can if I want to just play this on this turn, but it's not even doing much against the 2-3. So let's bring this guy back. Hopefully they don't have another Tithing Blade here. Well, so much of my plan to win quickly. The Grasping Shadows, not the worst here with the 4-3 around. Hopefully they can't kill that one either. I mean, also that one. I guess I can defossilize it, unless they pacify it. That would be annoying. They make that into a... Okay, they're gonna start racing with that, sure. Well, I'm gonna get some life back here. So it's all fine. Defossilize can get me the Viper. Not the greatest thing to bring back with potential extra counters though. Okay, they're gonna get the Companion into a 3-2. That would be good for them. Although then I just defossilize this thing back. Okay. Spring-loaded saw blades also. They have it. That's a bit too good to my liking. Well, there's a... Now I can do differently. Yeah, I can defossilize later on. Let's do both these descent triggers here. Discard sack or take 3. I think they can take 3 now, especially given that they have this. Okay, they didn't want to fool around with the consuming sepulture. Now, whichever I'm gonna attack with, well, I will get the Shadow's Lair flipped. But, yeah, I don't like this thing, because they can just, well, I don't have to attack with both. I mean, with only one. I can attack with both. Although, attacking with the Skull Taker is... Well, so that it doesn't get death touch is not a very good idea, because they can double block it. And I just lose it. So I'm gonna have to make them use the Saw Blades now. So would I prefer this thing to get the 4th counter or have this trigger happen? I guess the 4th counter doesn't do that much because they have the 4-5 around here. So let's make them kill the Skull Taker. Let's leave the Soyova here. No life for me because they kill that thing. Not that I need the life too much in here. And I'll just play the Altisar here. It can block a flyer. Okay, they don't want to go to low life total, but that just shows how good the Soyova is, because this damage amount being 3 rather than like 2 that's a huge difference. Taking 3 is not a joke. So they have already sacked 2 things. 2 things there. Thanks to Soyova. And if they didn't sack them, they would be at 7. Now they can also sacrifice lands, but I suppose they'd want to at least use the hidden necropolis before they are sacrificing lands. Okay, so I mean, I can trade my Death Toucher with this guy. They really don't like Soyova. Well, Sunscribe and... Well, let's do this first. Attack for 4. And what to get now back from the graveyard? I think it's the Mycoid. It's the biggest creature. Let's get that. Yep, that can be on the top. I know I could have milled it to get a 1/1 token, but I think I'd rather have the Soyova around here. I can also use my Volatile Wall to kill the hidden Necropolis. Okay, so they're gonna have a... Oh no, they can fly here. But this means they have a Wrath effect. I mean, that's the only reason they're gonna do this attack. Yeah, so... No, they didn't have a Wrath effect. But they had close to it. I mean, I guess it's time to kill this before they're gonna use it. They have no... Yeah, let's do one thing at a time though. I wanna do this. More lands, sure. So this, and then I'm gonna... I get a treasure, they get to have a basic land. But at least they don't get to do this. And this also triggers the descent. Now they're gonna sack a land for sure. And I can just, if they attack, I'm going to block, absolutely. It's a top deck war now, I hope they don't get their mythic god. I wonder why they did sack a swamp instead of a plains, because you know they have more plains than swamps. Okay, what did you draw? Shame, a little bit too late, but I guess I'm gonna draw some creature here at some point. No, both my tricks, which would have been amazing with the Zoyo, because you know first strike and death touch is a pretty good one, but oh come on, what is this? Well, there's my Zoyo, but it's too late now. It is too late now. Because they can just keep, you know, making more. Yeah, they're gonna when this yeah, they're gonna get a board full of 1/1s. All right, well, they drew well. They drew well. Okay, they chose not to. Okay, fine. I guess I'll attack then. There's not much else I can do about it. So when this thing attacks, create a number of 1/1 gnome artifact. They are equal to its power. So they can sack all these, make it into 6/6. And then they can attack and they make 6 tokens. And then they can keep sacrificing those. Because if I now use one of these tricks, they're gonna sack these. Yeah. It's not gonna work. It's not going to work. They have too much mana there, unfortunately. Because when they attack, they will create more of these tokens. They can make this into quite huge. I'm thinking about, you know, killing this with the raptor being like a 6 power, but it's not enough. Well, I guess my hope is that they are playing badly. Not great. I mean, they could, you know, not sack those tokens, but they are gonna now sack the tokens. That's what's gonna happen. And then this thing won't die, won't even trigger the descent. And then they have a 6/6 Thunderhawk, which will attack and make 6 tokens. So I lost both games to rares. Which is kind of unfortunate, especially because they had the Ghost Stalker in the spot when I actually had a, you know, the superior board position, and they had the Ghost Stalker to not have that happen. And then they, you know, drew this thing. They could have also drawn their mythic rare flyer that I lost to the previous game, but this is actually not even worth using my time, because, you know, they make this into a 6/6, they attack with it, they get more tokens, they can make it even bigger than, you know, I can't even block it. I didn't have fun in that match because it was 2 games decided by rares, and in both games I was in a good spot before the rares hit the board. So let's just accept that as something that happens sometimes, and I still think this deck was really nice, and getting these multiple descent triggers was funny. It's with the Mykoid though, it's not that great, because the 1/1 things that can't block aren't always that useful, but you know, for a 4 mana 4/3 it's still fine. I even got to do the Viper into monster sort of thing. Sadly the opponent just had a bit of triumph for that immediately, so I couldn't really dominate the board with the early 6/5. Yep, I'm not sad at all about picking the Zoyova after starting the draft with the unstable cliff bridge. I think the end result here was quite nice, and I could have had that third win too, but the final opponent had a little bit too good tools in their toolbox. So let's claim the prize here, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.